Welcome back to the Colts Cast. I'm Eric Smith, your host of the Colts Cast today. Soloing here today again since Jamal has retired from potting. But yeah, let's get right into it. The 2025 NFL Draft is complete. How are we feeling? I mean, really, how are we feeling right now about it? You know the drill. Go ahead and hit that like button. If you haven't subscribed already, if you're on YouTube, go ahead and do that as well. Comment below with your thoughts. I'm very curious to see how Colts Nation feels about this draft. Because I liked it. I think a lot of people did. Not too many hiccups in the way. I don't really have many complaints about this draft class. Let's talk about favorite picks. What's next over, the next coming months for the Colts. Let's just get right into it, all of it. So from the top, our draft selections. Round one, Tyler Warren, tight end, Penn State. Round two, JT Tuimolu. Oh my goodness, I'm not gonna be able to pronounce this. Tuimolu. That is a mouthful. It's like Tua Tagovailoa. It's like I got to get used to it. So Tuimolola. I'm done. We'll get it soon enough. Edge out of Ohio State. Round three, cornerback Justin Walley, Minnesota. Round four, offensive tackle Jalen Travis out of Iowa State. The Colts also traded back in the fourth with the Los Angeles Rams to get an extra 6th-round pick. Chris Ballard could not go a draft without trading back. So he got it. Round five, DJ Giddens out of Kansas State, running back. Round six, quarterback Riley Leonard out of Notre Dame. Along with that extra pick that we got defensive tackle Tim Smith out of Alabama. And then we got round seven, rounding it all out, linebacker Hunter Wohler out of Wisconsin. I said Voller like I'm German. So that kind of caps the draft selections. Chris Ballard said, all productive men with an element of toughness and maturity that we wanted to add. So that was kind of the theme of this draft. Let's start from the top. Day one, I don't think there was a better realistic player to fall to the Colts than Tyler Warren. I think he was a favorite for a lot of people. I think we could argue Colston Loveland here, depending on preference. However, day one was an A+ for the Colts, plain and simple, best player available, a top positional need, something, someone that is going to move the needle for this offense, automatic day one starter. I don't think you can complain here. It was perfect. I would say the only argument that you can make against taking this player is tight end in the first round. Is it worth the draft capital? Are you receiving enough value to spend that precious capital on that position? You think about guys like Kyle Pitts, Hayden Hurst, OJ Howard. You're like, yuck. Yeah, I mean, that's how I feel. So there is evidence for that argument. But really, the shoe fits here. And if you can get someone who is around that level of Brock Bowers, doesn't have to be that level, but just maybe a tier below, maybe in the same tier, depending on how you evaluated him, or someone that's reminiscent of Dallas Clark. I don't know. You run to the podium with no regrets. I think Warren's going to be that wrecking ball that we need, and it'll be interesting to see how Steichen utilizes him in the offense, given his expansive role at Penn State. So we're talking like, are we going to see double passes? Are we going to see wildcat screens, split back formations with Warren? I mean, I just think the sky's the limit there as far as a chess piece. Reminder that this guy, he had a 17-catch game last season, 17 receptions. How do you let one player get 17 catches on you? I just, man, like shut him down, right? No, you couldn't. I just think this is bankable talent, surefire pick. 1 year ago, probably wasn't a first-round pick, Warren was, but, kind of like Cam Ward or Joe Burrow, who was labeled that day 3 pick their junior year. That senior year skyrocketed their draft stock, and that's what happened with Tyler Warren. He had really good tight end season. Sometimes it's good to get that extra year in. Everyone says just go to the NFL when you can. No, it's sometimes good to get that extra year in. But that was day one for us. We're right back on the clock. Day two, edge was a sneaky need for the Colts. I don't think anyone wanted to admit it since we just took Latu. But with Kwity Paye entering a contract year, Samson Ibukam coming off a torn Achilles, and losing Dayo Dangbo to free agency, you need to rebuild the trenches. And I think JT Tuamolu, Tuamola. I think it's Tui Moaloud. I think that's what it is. With my, with or without my horrible pronunciation, was selected. I'm gonna call him JT for the rest of this pod. I was hoping Donovan Ezaraku fell to us. I was keeping an eye on. I think he got picked a pick or two before us. Anyway, strong run defender. I think that's an underrated trait of edge rushers. In a time where you want to find great pass rushers to stop these superhero quarterbacks, I think run stoppers get overshadowed in that aspect. And but like, to be honest, like, if you can't stop the run, like, there's no way you can win the game because your defense can't get off the field. I think you think back to that Packers game where Malik Willis and Josh Jacob was killing us. I mean, they were controlling time possession. They were running it all over us. I mean, a lot of teams were doing that this year. But it's a battle of attrition, and our defense gets worn down. Then we start blaming the defense, coming for Gus Bradley's head, even though his head's already on a bike. So he's out the building. But like, I think you have to be able to stop the run. Highly productive player in college, 12.5 sacks, 21.5 tackles for loss, 2 forced fumbles for 2024. Shine in the big moments in college football playoffs. Ohio State got a championship. Very high floor for someone who can provide immediate impact to this defensive line. Played in every single game at Ohio State. Again, something that's not talked about a lot. Gotta love this pick. So JT, not saying his last name anymore. we'll try another pod. Okay. Round 3. Here's where I think some people get a little divided, or at least they did initially. Justin Walley. So I think it was a shock at first that Walley was taken this early. I think personally his ceiling is a little capped with the lack of length and strength as a tackler, kind of opposite of Juju Brents, things like that. But I'm not sure if he's going to play on the outside or slot. Seems like a slot guy, but I don't know with Anarumo what he's going to do with them. But I'll take cornerback depth. It's still a concern. Just because we add Charvarius Ward doesn't mean we're done with cornerbacks. He's a very experienced corner who had a great year in 2024. I think that's what Ballard was saying, that they kept watching tape, and 2024 was an exceptional season for him. It's kind of the trend with a lot of these guys, like Tyler Warren, exceptional 2024 season. Edge rusher JT, tremendous 2024 season. Here we got another guy who had a great 2024 year to cap off his college career. I just think you could have got Walley in day 3, but they felt it was necessary to secure this guy in round 3. I think you could have taken a guy like Dylan Fairchild out of Georgia to help with the guard, fill that guard depth. But I think Matt Gonzalez is probably going to slide into right guard, probably. While our next 4th round pick we'll talk about can become our swing tackle for the future. But Walley, a lot of experience in different coverages. Man, cover 2, cover 3. I mean, he's played in a lot of coverages. So he's experienced in that aspect. So I think Anarumo will get the most out of him, whether he ends up starting or getting sprinkled in on specific packages, or just a necessary add for depth. So has great ball skills too. I like him. Didn't like him initially, but I kind of grew on him. So there we are, day 2 in the book. Start back up with day 3. Look, you cannot have enough swing tackles. Death, taxes, and injuries to Colts players are inevitable, right? I hate saying that, but it's the truth. And then we look at the future in Braden Smith, who's probably not going to be our right tackle for the foreseeable future. You just always have to invest in the offensive line. Whether it's 1 or 2 picks every draft, you're always investing in it, trying to find guys that can be there when needed. So Jalen Travis, solid pick here. Big guy, 6'8". According to Stephen Holder, he only allowed 4 pressures in 2024, no sacks. One of 5 FBS players in 2024 to have at least 600 snaps at left tackle and not allow a single sack. That's some impressive stuff here. Very powerful blocker, but being that tall can be counterproductive since you may not play at that pad level that's required. Getting low, gotta get low, baby. Still good pick here. looking to see what he can bring to the table. Round 5, running back, DJ Giddens. I'm gonna be honest. This is the pick that I don't like, and it's my opinion. And here's why: Giddens is not really great in pass protection. Khalil Herbert, who we just added, isn't either. Jonathan Taylor, that's why he was getting pulled in the fourth quarter. 2-minute drills, things like that. So he has some question marks as well. I heard he had an injury. We're talking about Giddens down that kind of limited his protection abilities last year. So really hoping he can improve in that aspect so he doesn't end up, just another guy in that area. Because I think that's one of the things you really got to do. I felt like Taylor did it pretty well like early on in his career, but I guess I can feel some type of way about him. But anyway, I think Giddens, he's going to be a fine backup for now. And he's great pure rusher. Like, so he will probably he probably will be our RB2. I could see Herbert as well, because Herbert had, some good flashes when I saw him with the Bears. But I still feel like that the Colts, they're missing that third down back if JT isn't going to be that bell cow running back, which he kind of is. I mean, there's some games he's in close to 30 carries, if not more. But that's when the offense is falling through him. But when we're playing from behind, Taylor usually gets scripted out of the game. So Tyler Goodson season? Nah, we'll see. But not my favorite pick here. Maybe someone else's. So we'll see how he does. Round 6, Riley Leonard, Tim Smith. So Riley Leonard, interesting. I saw him mocked to the Colts a lot of times, actually. So a lot of people got this right. He's interesting. He could very well see some playing time this season, just with Richardson and Daniel Jones' injury history. If they end up banged up and he's QB3, like, legitimately could happen. But I know there's a lot of Leonard fans out there. Good size plus athleticism. Doesn't make a lot of mistakes. Round 6, so I can't complain. I'll get nitpicky here, even though I shouldn't. Kind of lacks that significant arm talent you like to see. But again, day 3 guy. I'm not going to nitpick anymore. Day 3 guy. Hopefully he can be a great backup, in this league. And always, these late guys, I mean, find one every year or so, like, they have a potential to start. They end up starting. I mean, could he be the Brock Purdy? Something like that. So he's a tough quarterback. So I like to see him on the Colts. Tim Smith, I'm going to keep this one simple. Will he be a good role player, or will he be another Raekwon Davis? Dun, dun, dun. I'm thinking the former here. I mean, he was a great run defender at Alabama. Hopefully now we have some true depth at nose tackle behind Grover Stewart. If we can effectively stop the run, those third downs get much easier, just like I was talking about before. You want to be able to stop the run. So we'll see if he ends up being a solid pick. Hunter Wohler, it shows how much faith that, we targeted a linebacker position very late, but I think they have faith in Jalen Carlisle. So linebackers on the lower end of positional value, you don't really see them going really early. I think Jahad Campbell was the first linebacker to be taken by the Eagles, of course. But that was really late first round. But for the Colts, I think it's on the higher end of the spectrum for positional need. As EJ Speed went to a rival team, I hate that, man. Like, why are you going to go to the team? Like, I know it's business, but like, come on, you gone to any team. So Wohler, safety turned linebacker, versatile, played well in coverage. He's, from what I've read, spectacular in coverage, very athletic player. Love this pick. I think he can add to he's a safety turned linebacker, but he can add to our safety depth as well, while also contributing to special teams. I just want to remind everybody that Zaire Franklin was a 7th round pick. Like, we could see this man being a starter in the potential future. So linebacker, man, you can find in any round. So all right, that's it with the draft recap. Again, if you've gotten this far, let me know what you think in the comments, I guess, about my dialogue about this team. Again, overall, I thought it was a good draft. Probably great draft even. Like, I would say that, I mean, there's some question mark. I think I had maybe one question mark pick, but either way, I think Ballard and team did very well with this draft. I think it started out very high with Tyler Warren, ended pretty well. I don't see a lot of complaints within Colts Nation. I could be wrong. Let me know. What's next for the Colts? So we got off-season workouts going on right now. We got organized team activities, OTAs that's going to come up at the end of May, going into early June. So that will be fun. Mandatory mini camp in June 10th, I believe, to the 12th. A lot of fun stuff happening, right? And a quarterback battle between Anthony Richardson and Daniel Jones. Like, what's going to happen out of that? I think a lot of people see the smoke and don't see a fire, but like, I really think, I mean, it's Anthony Richardson's job to lose. So, this will be very interesting once training camp gets here in that kind of late July, early August timeframe. Like, if Daniel Jones ends up winning the starting job, like, I feel like Chris Ballard has to be cooked at this point. Like, I just, unless Daniel Jones has some type of resurgence, like Baker Mayfield or Geno Smith, which I guess he could. I think he's in a better situation now than he was with the New York Giants. I don't think many quarterbacks could have succeeded with the talent around them. But again, he's also made some boneheaded plays. He's viewed as a backup. Like, that's what it is. So if he doesn't have a revival like that, I just don't see how this Anthony Richardson experiment ends up successful. Like, I could be completely off base on this, but nothing I've seen of Daniel Jones represents elite. So, I've seen flashes of elite play from Anthony Richardson, whether you like it or not. I've seen it. It's rare, but it really felt like at times he was unstoppable. Like, I remember when he shook off a defensive tackle. Like, man was about to tackle him, and he shook him off. You don't see that. You see quarterbacks elude pressure. You don't see him throw somebody off of him. Like, come on, man. Like, while he's trying to throw the ball. It's stuff like that like the ceiling is immense with him. Like, just as a runner, the way that while he's being tackled, he can throw it 70 yards to Alec Pierce, stuff like that. Like, can't teach that. I mean, that's talent. But anyway, very inconsistent, but it's there. So the ceiling of this team is capped with Daniel Jones under center, in my opinion, from what I've seen of Daniel Jones from Vanilla Vic. We'll see, though. The Colts obviously got better in the draft and free agency, but is it enough? That is the big question. Did the team do enough to get past the hump? Because they're not the only team that's getting better in the NFL. I mean, the Jacksonville Jaguars just mortgaged their future for Travis Hunter, who's basically could be like a Shohei Ohtani type of talent in the NFL. It's something we've never seen. So we'll see if this Browns-Jaguars trade, who ends up winning this trade 2 years down the line. But now we got to see him twice a year. Like, that man's going to be on offense and on defense against us. I mean, that's a scary outlook. The Texans, the Titans just drafted their quarterback of the future. The Texans, they've added some talent, added a bunch of wide receivers. I mean, did we do enough? We'll see. And that's what we got to talk about in the months coming up. So a lot more content coming your way during the summer. Again, let me know your thoughts if you've gotten this far. I've talked enough. Almost 20 minutes in. I've talked enough. No, but really. Appreciate everyone tuning in. Thank you for listening to the Colts Cast. We are live on Apple Podcasts, Spotify, YouTube, or any platform you use to listen to podcasts. And we'll be back next time to give you some more Indianapolis Colts content. Take care.